myself comfy. Just had my bath, my milk. So, yeah, I wanted to make another video. It's just so beautiful how there is always something very wonderful to talk about, and to just let the words come that want to come, to really surrender to life. And that's what this video is very much about. There's a roaring wind outside. You can probably hear it here. And it's very, very wet. It is extremely wet. So, and this area we live in, on our land, it can turn into like a big pond, where we're sort of more or less on the middle of the pond. So it's challenging, the weather, and when the weather is very fierce like this, it does something to you. It does really make you respect being alive and being comfortable and warm. I think it's very healthy. It humbles us. So I thought I'd share some things that have been happening in my life lately. So in a way it's an update, but no, it's more what I'm learning right now in my life. And if you feel confused and you feel that you don't know where you're going, I know how you feel. I really know how you feel, because I can feel that in my life. And it's not to have to ask for pity. I just think it is necessary, and it's part of this this whole transition that we're in. But I mean, daily, and sometimes very, very intensely, I can just feel this: what am I doing? Where am I going? Am I completely gone mad? Or all the things that I'm focusing on, is it completely stupid? And I don't get the answer straight away at all. But every time, often more and more, I sort of ask myself, well, in all this mess that my life is, what do I feel? And when I go to the center of my being, I feel peace. So I feel it's like my inner voice is saying, it's okay. It looks chaotic on the outside, but as long as you can feel this inner peace, you're on the right track. Have faith, trust. And I just went away for a couple of days, or just for overnight, to visit my mother, which I do sometimes, and yeah, it's very special and very beautiful. And I took the train for once because I couldn't take the car, and I thought it was a bit of a challenge because I haven't done that for some years, and to just see, you know, I can do this. And I wanted to take some raw milk and some meat and some different things with me for her. And I did it. I mean, I made I got all the way there, and we had a wonderful time together, and I had to take the train back. And of course, when you're milking your cow in the morning, my husband, he was nice to help me with the afternoon chores, but you have to get back. If you've got no one else to milk, you have to get back for the next day. And I got back a bit late, and cows don't like that. I mean, it is best to just keep the routine going. So, but they survive, and all is well. But it is really a bit of a jigsaw puzzle to make it all work. And let's see if I can get this lamp to be a little bit more cooperative. So anyway, I made it all the way back also. But when I went to get my car, it was at the station, the train station. Somebody had broken into the car, and I couldn't start the car, and so we had to get the car, what do you call them, mechanic help us, people to come and help, and luckily I have a mobile phone, which most people have, so things go very smoothly. But now there's some problems with actually fixing the car. And when I reached home, of course, it was really late, and the cow was more or less standing in the rain in the mud, and run out there and milk her and get all the animals organised and come back in. And I hadn't had much sleep because I'd actually hurt myself when I was feeding them the other day. I think I'd bent my ribs a bit, so I actually have this pain in my ribs and I can't breathe properly. And by the time I got into my little home and lit the fire, I was just completely exhausted. And but the whole process was actually very beautiful, because with all the doubt and the not knowing I had the other day, that was all gone. Because so many questions I had the other day, so many uncertainties I felt, they were answered. The questions were answered in all these little events that happened during these last 48 hours. And what was I told? And it's just so beautiful when you become a believer that you feel it's God talking to you with all these different things that are going on. And what I got very clearly is to protect myself and to be deeply caring towards myself. And with this climate, this weather we have, and we're in the northern hemisphere, it's cold, it's wet, everything is heavier and harder in the winter time. And I'm still in a healing process. I have to be very, very gentle to myself. And with all the family, all the emotional trauma there's been all throughout all my life, and it's been so intense, I must, and that's what I really got very, very, very clearly. There's no doubt about it. I have to live a life that's very calm and endlessly caring towards myself. Otherwise, I'm just not going to function. So I had pushed myself too far. So I was just sort of told that that train trip and all that, exerting myself that way, I wasn't allowed to do very often. That's just the way it is. So it's a bit of a pointed finger like this, Katrina. And God said, center yourself. Come into your center. Right into your center and stay here where I am. Live a peaceful, quiet life and take care of yourself every single moment of the day. And if you're going to do anything extra, make sure it's very gentle and very calm, and with no pushing and no drama. You don't need any more drama. So, my goodness, what a lesson I've been given these last couple of days. It's wonderful. It is so wonderful that when we feel this uncertainty and we feel almost that we're mad, or we just don't know what we're doing, all the things that we've decided and all the different steps we've taken over the last weeks, months, years, and then we actually get it very clearly that you're exactly on the right track. And what's just very fundamental is that you center yourself. And I think it's not only me who's getting this message, it's everyone. You must center yourself. You must stay deeply centered and deeply caring and loving towards yourself. Don't put demands on yourself. Do things because you want to do them, because you think this is good and a good part of the way you structure your life. But don't demand things of yourself, and never demand a lot. So my goodness gracious me, it's just very, very beautiful. I just opened this door because it's getting a bit warm in here. And the other thing I got, it's about the whole thing of stepping away from some people, and see what I felt with some of my relationships that people are very fear controlled. Some people are very stuck in fear, and no matter what happens, this fear just keeps coming up like huge waves, and it's the fear that's controlling more or less all they're doing. So, and I just can't take it anymore. I just can't. I'm so fed up with it. And so some of these people I've stepped away from simply because I can't stand it anymore. It's so draining. And yeah, it's just a part of my way of being. But I think for many of us, the whole thing of asking yourself, why can't you be with this person? Why can't you pull yourself together and all this? And I was just shown so clearly to allow yourself to feel as you feel. I've said this many times, but apparently, since I keep getting it, I need to hear it many, many times. Stop demanding things from yourself that you can't do. Because you're not meant to do it. So to say to yourself, there's some things I can do, and there's some things I can't do. And you don't have to explain anyone, not even yourself, why you can't do it. You are allowed to say, and you're actually asked. God is asking you to be deeply true towards yourself and to accept that you can't do everything. It's natural. And especially in the process that we're in now, do what is right for you. And if anything feels even the slightest wrong or not really pleasant, you just don't really feel like it, don't do it. So that was another thing I got very, very clearly, to keep saying to yourself, there's some things I can do, and I do them when I feel it's right and it's good, and there's things I can't do, and it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, and in this whole these last couple of days, with all this drama in a way, all these things that have been happening, where I really feel I've been gone out to an extreme and really tired myself and been given all these lessons, I can see that people around me and just the whole situation, things, very, very beautiful healing things are happening. It's so powerful. So we are awakening. The light is just beaming in. And right now, while I'm saying this, have a look at this light. Just so gorgeous. Look at that light, just beaming in. Beaming into the room. It's just really stormy out there. So gorgeous light. And as we awaken, and as this light just keeps beaming in, I mean, little things that happen around us, you can see that it's the world. The world is speaking to us. God is speaking to us everywhere. Everywhere we go, and these funny experiences you can have, where you just go, my goodness, the universe is speaking to me all the time. And just before I got it from the oak tree out there, all the dead leaves are still sitting on there, but one leaf took off into the wind, and I could see it just standing there, sort of vibrating just in the air. And I thought to myself, that's a message to me. It's one. We are one. And in the moment I thought that thought, the leaf flew right over to the window where I was sitting, exactly to that window, and just disappeared. We are one. There is only one. And that's who we are. Everything is connected. It's so beautiful. And another experience I had, while I was waiting for the man to come and help me with the car that was broken into, I went to a little second-hand shop, which we often go to because that's where we buy most of our clothes just looking for something maybe I thought was nice. And there was these two old ladies in the back of the shop talking, and maybe I listen more than others, but it just sometimes you just listen to what people are saying. And she was talking about cows. And I mean, people don't talk about cows anymore, but I think about cows a real lot. And in the whole process with my husband and the whole ideas of should I move from this place, that's still in my mind. Maybe God wants me to go and live somewhere else. And I need the land for my cows and all this, what am I going to do type of thing. So it's very sort of active in my mind often. And what was this woman talking about? She was talking about a story about, apparently she lived on a farm, and she was saying, and the neighbour farmer, the lady, she needed the land for her cows. So she came and bought this old lady's land and let the old lady rent her own house. So they got this arrangement. But she needed the land for the cows. I mean, I've never heard anyone talk about those sort of things because people don't have cows like that anymore. And I just thought to myself, this is just so beautiful. We're all connected, and it's all, there's intelligence and wisdom everywhere. So there's just we're not separated at all. So, yeah, and yeah, just different little things where you thought, my goodness, this is speaking directly to me. So, yeah, this was just to share with you, which I've said before, that if you feel confused and you feel life is really, really intense and strange, just know that I feel the same. I feel the same. And the recipe for me is to listen. When you don't get you feeling this distrust or confusion, center yourself, be calm, do the things that you know are important right now and good in your life, and trust that the answers will come, and they do come. And for most of us, we're being told to be centered and be calm, and be connected to our Father, Mother, God. Just to stay really, really centered, so that we with all this turmoil that's going on the earth, and apparently it's intensifying, it's going to be pretty bad, they say. Bad, or it's going to be very dramatic for some people. The more we are just centered and calm, the less we're going to feel this drama. And the more we're going to see that I'm right where I have to be, and I am moving on. So, another thing I was going to, that maybe I can add this, that the whole thing about me having these cows, I want these Dexy cows, and I know with myself that when we live a heart-centered life, live with God, we can have these plans, but God will take our dreams away, or He will take it away from us if we get too focused on it. So it's I sense this very clearly, that it's to keep staying in your heart and in your true self, in the love of your heart. Stay there, stay centered and focused, and you have these different dreams and plans, but always hold on to them lightly, because they might just be pulled away from you, and we mustn't go and cling to them, hold on tight to them, because that's not the way God works. We must dance with life. We must take things, be very, very strong in our center, and then be very soft and very playful with our ideas and plans. But I feel that God was saying to me, this is right for you to have these cows, and we will see what, this is fine, but it's very challenging, and I've never experienced this before, because we've never had this many cows on our land, and this winter is the wettest for a very long time, so they're really, really on wet conditions. So I'm going to make a video about how to deal with this. But and while I'm sort of thinking, what can I do, God is showing me that I have these stable areas, and I can just actually restructure them and get the cows in there if it's really gets too wet. And there's always a solution. It's a beautiful feeling. God is saying it's okay. Things will work out. If you just stay centered, I'll guide you. I'll guide you, and all will be well. So stay away from the fear. Or if you feel the fear coming, pour your love onto it. Let go of it. Because fear-controlled actions are not healthy. They're not going to take us in the right direction. So let go of the fear. When I saw that the cow had been broken into, very quickly the ego wants to say, "Oh my God," you know. But very quickly, I sort of thought to myself, oh, this is some young boys, maybe girls, who knows. And they could have smashed the whole car with a big rock. They didn't. They just got in there and tried with all these little things to start the car and drive it off. And they didn't succeed. And I mean, it happens. Young people do that, and it happens. And to just really relax in it. And it's only a thing. And as my husband said, it could have been so much worse, because I could have been hurt, or, I mean, it's only a material thing. And to not hate anyone, because we all do these stupid things. So there's no baddies here. So to really, really dance with life, and everything goes smoothly, and we are being given the messages about where to go, and all is well. So bless you on your journey, and know that I hope you feel this, that we're holding hands and supporting each other on our way as we heal and grow. See you, my friend.